Hello friends. So I decided to sit outside today to talk to you about this topic, and I have a reason why that I'm outside that I'll share with you later towards the end, so stay around. The topic is depression and clutter, and is there a connection, and if so, what can we do about it? I've been investigating this topic for a while because I've been on a decluttering journey for a little over a year and a half. And in my past, I have had depression, anxiety issues, off and on at different times in my life. And I was really intrigued to find out how my mental space cleared up as I was decluttering, and how my mind felt freer and less anxious. And so I started looking into it further and discovered that I believe there is a connection. Now, that's not to say that everyone who's depressed has clutter, and it's not to say everyone who has clutter is depressed. I'm not saying that, but I think in general that there is a connection for most of us. I also posted this topic in a couple of groups that I'm a member of around decluttering and simplifying life, and it was fascinating to hear the answers. I would say that probably around 95% of the people who responded also agreed that there is a link between clutter and depression. Most people describe it as a cycle, a vicious cycle, like we have too much stuff and then we become overwhelmed and depressed, and then we're overwhelmed and depressed, so we can't do anything about the stuff, and it continues, the cycle continues. And I have to say, I agree. When we're in the midst of all the clutter and we're feeling depressed and low, it's really hard to make ourselves get up and do anything really in that state. We function, like we just function. We get the kids fed or bathed, or the things that we really have to do, we get done. But beyond that, we're exhausted and we don't have the mental capacity to move anything else or to do anything else. This is a tough topic to talk about because I realized when I decided to do this video, which has been on my mind for a while, that I was going to have to be completely honest about me and how I have struggled with this in my past, and I still struggle with it. I am learning things that are helping me move past this more and more, but it is still a struggle. There are days that I still want to lay in my bed and do absolutely nothing, that I feel overwhelmed, and I look around, and even though I've been decluttering and making videos and talking to you guys about different things to declutter and all, I still have my times where if I let things go for a day or two and I get behind and I start seeing the stuff accumulate, like, it takes me back to a feeling of overwhelm. And it's hard to get out of that cycle when you're feeling that. So I'm wondering if you feel like this too sometimes. And how do we get beyond that? Like, how do we move beyond that and actually get things done when we're in a state of overwhelm and almost like paralyzed? Like, you just feel like you can't do anything, like you can't function, and you don't want to do anything. As much as you want your house to be cleaned up and organized and tidy, you almost don't care. You don't care. You don't want to do the things you have to do. And you just feel defeated. Okay, so what can we do when we're in this state of mind of overwhelm, depression, anxiety, not able to function like we need to? I like to come outside like I am right now. I like to come outside for about 10 minutes and let my mind just be clear. I'm not focusing on anything. I'm not looking at anything. I'm not in a store looking at all the things. I'm either like taking a walk, sitting outside, maybe even sitting in my car for 10 minutes. And I come up with one thing in my house, because we know what needs to be done in our house, right? I come up with one thing that I need to do. Is it the dishes? Is it that I just need to make my bed? Do I need to just tidy up the things on the floor, the closet, hang up the clothes, whatever it is, just one thing, so that when I go back inside, I just ignore everything else and I go directly to that one thing. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, go directly to that one thing and do it. You can set a timer for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and just do that one thing. And what this has done for me is it gives me a little confidence. Like, I got something done even in this state of mind. It gives me peace, of course, because I got something done, and that makes me feel better. And it also motivates me to want to do that again. because I feel like, okay, I got it done, I can do it again. So even if you have to come outside the next day or the next day and the next day and get one item done a day, you will build on that. That confidence will build and your mindset will shift a little. But you can't, I find that I can't do this if I'm sitting in my house. If I'm looking around my house at all this stuff, knowing what I need to do, it just gets cluttered in my brain and I can't get it done. But if I can come out somewhere quiet for about 10 minutes and decide on one item, not 18 items, just one, then I can go in the house and get that one thing done. On an entirely different note, I have some birds that are really mad at me right now. They have built a nest in my carport, in the corner of my carport, and I didn't tear it down. I wanted them to live there, but the problem is every time I come out the door to get in my car, or I'm sitting out here right now, they're like angry. They're like circling through the carport, and they'll go back to the nest, and then they'll come back down here, and they'll twerp, 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 chirp, 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 and go by and come around and go back, and then I'll start talking, and they're not happy with me right now. Let me show you. Up there, there's the nest. There's the bird. You see him? And if I move around at all, it scares him away, which I hate. But he's in a very bad place. My car is right here, and I have to, we have to come out and drive and stuff. Is that not crazy? But he's not happy with me right now. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Go sit on a park bench. Go sit. The other day I went and sat, literally, I had a chair. We were out at a soccer field. There were some games going on. I took my chair and I sat in the middle of a field. Nobody was on. I just sat there in the middle of the field, literally. I didn't care what anybody thought. And I just sat there and thought for a few minutes. Now, I wasn't coming back in to declutter at the time, but just to declutter my mind. I mean, we have to do that too. We have to give our mind time to breathe and, to relax. And it was great. It was great. So take 10 minutes, do something, go outside, get away from the visual stuff that's bogging you down, and go get something done today. I believe in you, and we can do this together. Thanks for being here. Bye.